We are back on Akalon Wastes. It's myself versus Caster in Game 2 of the finals.
That's right. I'm Jade Boone, here to help cast this game. Now, you failed in the first game to destroy Caster and obliterate him through. Well, he got you with your pants down, basically. Your bright
Right. It was
red
a, it was a, it
pants.
was a failure of scouting, is what it looked like to me. And Caster just chose to be really aggressive, and without being able to scout that, yeah, as you said, call it the pants down.
Bright red pants
Bright
down.
pants,
Bright red pants.
bright red pants.
That's right. Bright
Great.
red
Is this
pants.
going to become a thing?
You rock those trousers, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, that's right. So, Akalon Waste is smaller than the last map, but not much. It's actually pretty big for a two-player map.
Yeah, definitely pretty big for a two-player map, and it's made it a little bit bigger by little features like this gap here in the center. So like you can't just walk through the center; you have to like walk around the center,
Right.
stuff like that. But Caster doing his usual 9 pylon and then scout, which I feel like is really early in the games against halflane power. He'll do like a 9 pylon, 12 gateway then scout. But maybe he's like searching for like a 6 pull, or he's really nervous about like some sort of cheese. So who knows?
Yeah, he's definitely a bit slower to scout when he's up against Terran or even Protoss. But I think he just really wants to see what's going on when your spawning pool is going to go down, so he can kind of time your aggression off of that.
Right. So it looks like he's situating his probe so he can know when exactly an expand is going to go down. And it looks like
Right.
he's going with the forge opening, so very similar to last game. So I'm setting 2 drones down, thinking, in case he tries to pull some sort of a stunt.
Right. This way you can get the hatchery down while your other one chases the probe away.
Right. And it looks like Caster's ready to do a forge. A forge fast expand just completely. So
Right.
here goes that Nexus.
And so that's going to encourage you to go ahead and throw down your third.
Right. And I'm not sure, did I scout that expansion? I guess it's implied by the forge, so I didn't explicitly scout it.
Right. And once I see the forge go down, which I can see the forge going down now that I've set my settings to
to be
to
able to
properly
click
scout.
on. Right.
Wow, what an annoying thing. So now that I, can see their forge again, yeah, if I see the forge go down, it's gonna be a forge fast expand, and all I got to do is make sure that I keep an eye out for his probe to cannon rush.
Right. And he's put his probe in a really good spot to scout when exactly the third base will go down. Yeah, he definitely saw that. So it looks like pretty similar openings from both of us as compared to the last game. Like, I think almost exact. Like, he did the exact same opening, I did the exact same opening. Um,
Right.
except this game, I actually scouted. I'm not sure what I scouted. I appear to have scouted blank terrain, but I scouted.
Yep, there he is. And you know what's up on the front.
I think I said the second Zergling because I had to make sure that was a cybernetics core. If that was a gateway, I would know, that shit was going to get real pretty soon. But
Now, one of the things I kind of don't like so much about this map is that these Zelnaga towers are way out in the sides, so it leaves
oh
the
yeah,
middle actually just clear.
that's true. So let's see, what are we doing? Looks like I think I'm still droning at this point. Looks like Caster, kind of interesting, is making a second photon cannon here. I wonder if he expects anything. I don't believe he scouted anything to let him know that.
No, no, I don't think he's seen anything that should indicate that you've got anything coming. I mean, all he knows is that you have three hatcheries down,
Right. So I
and a
guess
spawning pool.
he's just playing it safe on that end. And then this Overlord is out to scout yet again. Mission number 2. And I think I kind of wonder. He put this what's it called? A Chrono Boost on this gateway right when my Overlord scouted. He didn't Chrono Boost until the Overlord, just right before the Overlord had sight of it. I wonder if he did that on purpose, at least to make me think that he was going to go like a really hyper aggressive play like he did the last game. Because I think I was able to scout a gateway, or no, just to
Mm-hmm.
Chrono Boost a gateway, and then just putting 2 gates behind it. So I don't know. We have 2 Start gates coming up behind him. Back at the Zerg base, I've got a Roach Warren.
Roach Warren and putting down your first spine crawlers.
Yeah, so the Chrono Boost Gateway, obviously told me that he might be going aggressive, so I put down some Spine Crawlers.
And you're upgrading your ranged attack.
Right, because Roaches are way more effective at beating a Tier 1 Protoss Ball than a Lane, for sure. If I wasn't able to get, if I didn't choose to get a +1 range upgrade, I'll get a +1 armor upgrade, so that the Zerglings will take 1 more hit from a Zealot before dying.
Right, and
But,
it looks like he's moving out with a small force here.
right, and I've got a pretty large Zergling force up here, so, but those are Zealots, so it's kind of hard to say, how evenly matched this is.
And there goes the proxy pylon. Caster's actually pretty good about his proxy
It
pylons.
puts him in very hard to find locations, for sure. So he just has to teleport away. That force was just way too big.
Now, with that, are you emboldened to move ahead and actually try to do something here, or are you just kind of moving forward to keep an eye on things?
I think I move ahead because, obviously if he didn't have the army to fight me out in the open, maybe I have a big enough army to fight him at his gate. Kind of hard to say. I guess we're about to find out. And Holy Phoenix.
That is a few Phoenix there.
Just a few. And Caster's this wall is really working out well for Caster. These Zerglings are not effective, like, whatsoever. They're just, dying.
Right. Now, the question is with only 2 pylons here, would it have been effective for you to actually have tried to take them out?
That's a good idea. And also a very good question. I'm not sure how to answer that. So meanwhile, Caster's Phoenix are running into my base. I put up 3 Spore Crawlers in each base to discourage him from harassing me. I'm not
He
sure.
doesn't seem very discouraged.
No, not really. I'm not sure if 3 Spore Crawlers was too many. That might have been an overcommitment. But I do feel like he did have a lot of Phoenixes there.
Well, and happily you know that there's not going to be... I mean, he's got to rebuild his Cybernetics core before he has any more Stalkers.
Oh, yeah. So now would actually be a pretty good time to just, like, make more straight-up army. Actually, I wonder, you can see I was making a Hydra Den here to react to the air. Because I'm not sure if I saw this Void Ray, but, he obviously has 2 Stargate based on the quantity of units he has. So I think I made Hydra in response to that. But I wonder if I just made, like, straight-up Roach and Lane and just, like, kept flooding him. If that would have been enough to, like, finish the game in that scenario. But, yeah, I guess we'll see.
Meanwhile, while he's busy over there, you're going to go check out his third.
Right, yeah, those are some really annoying Phoenix. He was pretty smart in breaking down these rocks, so he has a little bit more time to react to the push here. Looks like he's trying to create a last-minute wall.
But not fast enough, and it looks like you actually killed all of that, so that's money spent.
Right. But those are a lot of Void Rays. And I'm pretty sure that's not enough Hydras, especially with the Phoenixes being able to pick them all up.
No.
Combine that with the Nexus Cannon, and he appears to have survived that.
And come out ahead in that engagement.
Oh, right.
Now, this is the infamous Sky Toss kind of build going on. He's got a lot of air units, but he hasn't come out with any Tempest yet, or Oracles.
Right. Actually, that's kind of interesting. Caster, in all of his games, have always put out a pretty early Oracle. It's kind of curious we haven't seen one from him yet. But I guess he opted instead for the, 6 Phoenixes.
Right.
So Caster's poking in, checking for a 4th base. And it looks like he's ready to push. He's warping in at the Proxy Pollen now.
Right. And right now you're at a disadvantage being on 3 base to his 3 base.
Right, absolutely.
Really necessary to keep ahead of the base count.
And also, I think his army is just straight up larger at the moment, especially with just being able to like pick up stuff with the Phoenixes. That just like completely destroys units, at least for a temporary period of time. But I guess he's just chilling, waiting for his army to build up just a little bit more. He's not totally confident this engagement just yet.
He's got a couple more gateways going down and finally throwing down his robotics facility.
Right. So he might be transitioning into like a Colossus play at this point. And yeah, here we go. More Zealots at the proxy.
But by this time, he's also kind of allowing your army to build up as well.
Right.
And knowing that he's at your front door, it seems like that's exactly what you're doing.
So I did something really dumb. I felt like I was really far behind on Harvesters, and he wasn't pushing, so I kind of felt like he wasn't confident in this, and therefore wasn't going to push for a little while yet. So I actually like put out like a batch of drones, which I think might have been like the wrong move. Or maybe charging out to his 3rd base was the wrong move, but yeah, let's. So, Zergling pops in, sees that hey, it's free game, guys.
So in you go.
Zerglings charge right on in. Luckily, he has his cannon and his mineral line, so the Zerglings, the AI targets not the probes. So he's getting off extremely well. In this regard.
But meanwhile, while you're busy with that, sacrifice units right there.
Oh,
wow.
Ouch. But I was just a moment ago at max food, so I figured, okay, I should engage, and I'll remax. So I'm pretty sure I had a lot of larvae sitting around at this point, but those are a lot of Void Rays, like a very serious amount of Void Rays. So our food is about even, but Caster definitely has just a giant army right there. His army count is at what, about 6,000, while I'm only at 2,000. So.
Well, a lot of your ow.
Yeah, bad rallies.
And it's not really looking good for you.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Do you think he has enough Void Rays?
How are you with with infestors.
Not bad, actually. Pretty, I mean, just as good as any other unit, but I'm not sure if an Infestor, like, the Infestors would have been able to fungal this. I'm not sure how much that would have helped. I think what this comes down to, because we would have to look at the replay more closely to see, like, when our armies were, like, at the peak, like, how close in value were those armies to one another, to see, like, were they actually even armies. But I think, like, attacking that third base might not have been a very good trade. Maybe I didn't have a good army composition. Like, I'm not exactly sure the exact, critical moment that this went wrong, at least for me, but it might have been that he had a third base and I didn't get a fourth base. It could have been a bunch of things.
Well, I definitely think that being behind a base relative to the matchup was really painful.
I think a large part of it, though, was, I have my macro hatch right here. I remember thinking when I made that macro hatch, like, late on, saying, like, man, I didn't have a macro hatch this entire time. So, the fact that I wasn't able to remax faster, like, we made that engagement over here, and we were both at about 180, 180. And then I couldn't keep up in the production to that. Because normally, like, if you're doing that as a Zerg, you throw away a bunch of units, and then you recreate all those units, like, 30 seconds later. And then you're able to keep up and, eventually overwhelm. But, so that might have been it, just a lack of a macro hatch. But...
Well...
Ouch, those forces. And Caster's going for his fourth base at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got so many units right now. And so many Void Rays. I mean, you make that critical mass of Void Rays, and
it just becomes extremely, extremely painful.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have any mining bases at the moment.
Oh, geez, you're right. Yeah, I have 65 minerals and nothing.
Yeah. That's a pretty hefty army he's got.
So, yeah, and so that's game.
Well, and that's game number 2. So we've got at least 2 more games in the series and up to 5 more games in the series.
Yeah, up to 5. So,
all right, well, we'll wrap this one up and see what happens next.
All right.